its opportunity to be better remains there because we didn't complete the job last year.
Welcome to the final game of the 2019 regular season for Niles North. The Hawks have come to town tonight from Maine South to take on the Vikings at home. Each of these teams has exactly 19 wins, and each of them has exactly the same 7 wins in their respective home arenas. You can search the entire North Shore, maybe even the whole state, but you will not find a closer high school hoops matchup than the one we have here tonight. It's the Niles North Vikings versus the Maine South Hawks right here on Viking Media. I'm Elliot Parrish. Now let's listen to the stadium announcer list off the starting lineup for Niles North. So, these two teams have had 10 opponents in common so far this season. And for common opponents, both of them went 6-4. This is an extraordinarily close matchup. Niles North Vikings, Maine South Hawks. And we are tipping off on this Friday night. Niles North led by Coach Glenn Olson. The Hawks led by Tony Lavorado, longtime coach. Jalen Butler loses the tip-off, and the Hawks will start on offense. Just outside in the field. Passing around, they haven't gotten in the arc yet, and it's passed out of bounds. It'll be the Vikings ball next. Niles North has about a .7 winning percentage. They aren't as dominant as they were this time last year, but it's still exciting to watch them as the postseason is coming. There's the first scorer of the game with Aquan Smart, number 3, probably the top scorer on this Vikings team. Biladovic to Daniel Crane, and we're passing around to Tyler Huck. Tough double teaming, but the Hawks still get 2 with John Gardner. Two scores in this game already. Smart for 3. No good. Aquan Smart takes the ball up and gets it to Jalen Butler for Niles North. And now I'm joined by Ellie Henderson. Welcome and happy Friday, Ellie.
Happy Friday. Currently at the line, number 21, Jalen Butler at the line for the Vikings. Currently with 6 minutes and 7 seconds left in the first. Score right now, 2 for the Vikings, 2 for the Hawks. And Jalen Butler adds another point to the board there, making Vikings with 3. Number 42 goes up for a shot there, rebounded by their own. Pass to 14, who goes up for a layup. No good. Smart with the rebound there. Pass to Davis, to Polakop. Passes it to Davis, to Smart up top. Pollicop goes up for a three, gets rebounded by Maine South. Elliot, what are your predictions for the game tonight?
Well, I was saying earlier that it is going to be close. We know that because these teams have the same amount of wins, but they're also very high scoring. Maine South has 2 already, and they've scored over 1,500 points this year.
Yes, and you look at their conference record right now, Niles North 5-4, Maine South 4-5, and their state records are very close as well. Niles North being 56 as of today, and Maine South 49. Maine South with the ball. Goes up for a three there. Shot's good. Leaving the Hawks with 5 right now. Elijah Bull for the Vikings with the ball. Pass to Davis to Smart. Smart goes up for a three. Gets rebounded by Maine South. 4 minutes and 38 seconds left in the first. 3-5 right now. Maine South going up for another shot. Gets rebounded by Maine South. And they get another 2 points on the board there, leaving the Hawks with 7. Bull with the ball for Niles North right now. Pass to Smart. Smart goes and passes it
to the other team, and there we stop.
Yes, but still is Niles North ball there. Smart with the ball as Maine South did tip it out. We took on Maine South January 11th and scored a win there, 59-43. So it looks like it's going to be another very close game tonight.
Yeah, I'm excited for this one.
I am too, and looking back at some of Maine South's records and everything like that, their games are somewhat close in points too. Maine South with the ball. Nice defense. Bull gets the ball and takes it down to north side, passes it to Smart, and Smart sinks it in there, leaving Niles North with 5 points. And the Maine South Hawks with 7. 3 minutes and 30 seconds left in the first quarter. Out of bounds there. Still Maine South ball.
Ellie, you're saying the Hawks have had a bunch of close games, and you're right, they've averaged for their victories about 8 points, which isn't such a big margin so far this year.
Yes, definitely looking at some of their records and just everything today, they were all found by Max Preps. So if you're interested in looking up more records after this game or their team averages as well, Max Preps is a very reliable website for that. But so far, just in our conference, a quick recap. Evanston right now with 8-1 record. New Trier with 7-2, and they are actually taking on each other tonight at New Trier, I believe. Niles North 5-4, Maine South 4-5, Glenbrook South 3-6, and Niles West 0-9. Olaf with the ball, pass to Bull there for North. 2 minutes and 56 seconds left. Jalen Butler goes for a three, which is very successful, leaving the score 8-9. Maine South ball here. And as it is Maine South possession, we would just like to make sure that you have clicked the big red subscribe button down below, and you can also turn on notifications to get notified when we upload or are live.
And like this video, as is the custom on YouTube.
Yes. And you can also share it with your friends and family as well if you have other people that do not have the link to it. Bull with the ball right now. He passes it to Olaf there. Passes to Pryor. Pryor now with the ball. Passed back to Bull. Bull passes to Butler. He goes up for another three there. And he gets his own rebound. Pass to Pollicop to Pryor. 2 minutes and 11 seconds left. Bull now with the ball. Pass to Olaf. Pass to Pryor there. He passes it to Bull there. And Olaf now with the ball goes up for the shots. And becomes Maine South ball as Pryor touched it out of bounds. 1:58 seconds left, score 8-9, already having a close game with it only being the first quarter.
We're seeing a lot of aggressive offense early, and that's been the case for the Vikings a lot, as they've had 3 games with 70 or more points scored. Believe it or not, last week they scored 70 points against Madison Lafayette and lost. That's almost unheard of in high school basketball, with Lafayette scoring 87 points.
That was an interesting play there if you saw that. Olaf went and tipped it, looking like it was going to be out of bounds. Pryor tried to help, but Maine South then somehow slid into that shot there, making it Niles North ball. We have Olaf with the ball, pass to Butler to Bull right now to Olaf. Bull now looking for that shot. Becomes Maine South ball as he loses that dribble. According to Max Preps, they have like this prediction, I guess, for the game that they do on their website. And according to that, for tonight's game, they see Maine South with, in quarter 1, ending the quarter with about 11.8 shots. And they see Niles North with 15.4. So we'll see if that's becomes a reality in this game, as the Niles North has 8 points and Maine South has 9 with 1:21 seconds left.
So far the crystal ball looks almost feasible. A lot of points on the board already.
Smart will be shooting at some free throws there.
What we should know about Smart is that he makes pretty much 100% of his free throws while he's at the line. It's a lot of accuracy. And in heavy fouling games like we've seen recently from the Vikings and with their opponents, that is very useful for the scoreboard.
Smart going up for his second shot there, and it loops out. But Pryor gets that rebound there, passes it to Smart, to Pollicott. Pollicott goes up for a shot. It's good. It's a 3. That's leaving the Vikings with 11 on the board. Maine South now with the ball, and they throw that ball to their opponent a little too hard, causing them to tip it out of bounds. Good news for the Vikings, it's Viking ball, and Smart will be inbounding for Bull. 1:02 seconds left, and Niles North with 11, Maine South with 9. Pryor with the ball, pass to Smart there. Smart passes to Pryor, Pryor passes to Bull, Bull passes to Pollicott. And he goes up for the shot. It's good. 13 now for the Vikings. Let me tell you, Omar Pollicott has definitely given Niles North a ton of points previously. Just looking at his games, it's interesting to see all the shots that he puts up and the amount of threes that he successfully sinks in there. How do you think about Omar Pollicott?
Well, we've seen one today. He was a great player with very good accuracy on last year's team, and now he's coming back, graduating this year. He's one senior that this team is going to miss in the future.
Agreed. Niles North didn't have their stats, but it looks like number 14 for Maine South, Philip B., puts an average of 16.2 points on the board, so it will be interesting to see the outcome of the game for him tonight.
Philip Blaladovic, the senior, 6'5". He'll be one to watch.
Speaking of him, he has the ball right now, passing it to his opponent, and then Robert Pryor gets the ball, finishing the first quarter. Vikings 13, Hawks 9, going into the second quarter.
I'm Elliot Parrish with Ellie Henderson. We'll thank our sponsor, Athletico, for sponsoring Viking Media on this Friday night.
Yes, and as well all year long.
I'm joined by Josh Rivera.
And welcome back to Niles North Vikings basketball as we get set to kick off the second quarter. We hope you guys are enjoying this broadcast between Niles North and Maine South. And based on your experience here in the first quarter, Elliot, how do you think this first half went for Niles North?
Well, it's looking close. The Vikings are favored, but we're seeing a lot of offense, some great free throws, especially the one we saw from Polycap, and right now it's only a 4-point deficit going into the second quarter.
All right, so Niles North is ready to begin the second half with the first possession of this quarter. The Vikings shoot a three, and it's no good. Rebound Butler with a nice spin. Tried to save it. Niles North recovers, and it's going to be a hard foul on Maine South. Niles North will be shooting two. It is Jalen Butler heading to the line.
The most points anyone has managed against the Vikings so far this year was 80. That was Waukegan. And if the Vikings continue into regionals, that's one team that they will have to watch out for.
And that's really not characteristic of the Vikings defense to really allow that many points against a team like Waukegan, who is probably a pretty legitimate force should the Vikings face against them in the playoffs. And so Maine South is going to get set to begin their possession. Niles North showing some half-court defense, trying to pressure the Maine South basketball team. And here we go. Very aggressive defense from Niles North so far.
The Vikings let up an average of 53 points per game on defense usually.
Yeah, so that those 80 points that you said that they gave up against Waukegan, as Polycat misses that three, those 80 points you said against Waukegan given up, that's really not characteristic of this Niles North team, considering what you just said, that they gave up 57 points. So hopefully Niles North can come up with some stout defensive play and hold off Maine South here. And they dump it inside, and it's stolen by Niles North. Sloppy play there for Maine South. Smart. Here's Butler, back to Smart, who accelerates and tries to penetrate, but he misses. And it's going to be Niles North ball once again. Boulder inbound with 6:40 left in the second quarter. He floats it up to Smart, to Butler, and here's Elijah Bull with the ball, the point guard for Niles North. Back to Smart. Oh, and a nice pass to Bull, who couldn't gather it fast enough to actually get a shot off, and a nice pass to Butler, but he's fouled on that one.
Jalen, Butler, and Smart, 3 players who are proven winners returning from last year's team. This might not be the dominant team that we saw last year, though they have been able to pile up some wins. Last year they had an 85 winning percentage. This year it's down to 70.
Yeah, but although that winning percentage has gone down, 2 things. It's pretty hard to really match the caliber of the last year of the Niles North team last year, don't you think?
Yeah, they were pretty terrific.
Yeah, and also the level of play and competitiveness over the years has really increased in this tough CSL South for Niles North. So they'll be looking to watch out for that against another good team, Maine South. All right, so Maine South with possession of the ball. Tyler Houck, he loses the ball, but it's off of a Niles North defender, and so they will retain possession. Here's Houck handling the ball. Dumps it inside to Bulatovic. Kick out to Houck for the 3, and it's no good. Too strong. Rebound, Bull. Hangs, and he misses off the backboard. Too strong on that one. Or excuse me, too weak on that one by Smart. And a scramble for the ball. And it's going to go Niles North's way.
In 2018 and 19, the Hawks have scored an average of 8 more points than their opponents have so far this year.
Some of the greatest comeback stories never show up in the sports section. At Athletico, our physical therapists help people overcome pain and discomfort and get back to doing the things they love to do. Start your comeback. Schedule your free injury screening today at athletico.com. Athletico Physical Therapy, better for every body.
So welcome back to the broadcast. Once again, we'd like to thank our year-long sponsor, Athletico, for sponsoring us, Viking Media, and the Niles North Vikings throughout this entire season. So we're back with Vikings ball. Here's Bull trotting it up the court with Smart to his right. Dangerous pass to Polycap. Here's Butler. They get some nice spacing on the floor. And the Maine South Warriors, or excuse me, the Hawks are playing a rather soft 2-3 defense. Look for Niles North to shoot the ball against this pretty conservative defense. And that one goes over the backboard and out.
That defense can really shut opponents down. The Vikings have had more lopsided games than their opponents tonight.
All right.
They average a little over 17 points deciding the game on average.
So we talked about Niles North's defense a whole lot. Who do you think are one of the stalwarts in Niles North's defense?
That's a good question. Smart is pretty formidable when he's guarding you.
Yeah,
see
like
right now.
Yeah. Oh, and a nice pass though. Oh, and a nice find there by Niles North. They hit their first points of the quarter to make it 15-11. Here's Smart. Cross court to Bull. Back to Smart. Butler to Smart, who takes the open 3. Caroms off the rim. Rebound, Maine South. They're pushing it up the court, and a nice defensive play. 2 nice defensive plays from Smart. And the finish! The finish by Quan Smart. Unbelievable, but he's down. Man, that was an amazing dunk there from Smart.
His second score of the game, that'll get the home crowd on their feet tonight.
Yeah, he just threw that one down with a bang, but he's unfortunately looks to be shaken up, and we hope Smart is okay. The trainers will help him up. Smart is limping to his bench, who are extremely proud of that emphatic slam. As Smart gets a breather on the bench. He's going to get checked out by the trainers here. And so let's go back to that last play. We saw two key defensive plays from Smart, and we pretty much did the reverse jinx. Smart did an amazingly positive play on that one.
He's 6'2". When he has a breakaway, he puts it up there like it's nothing.
Yeah, and he's a great finisher. I think we've mentioned that in one of our earlier broadcasts, like way earlier in the year. I think it was against the Prosser Falcons or the Mather Rangers, but I remember mentioning that he's a great finisher around the rim, especially on fast break opportunities, and we saw it there with a nice slam by Smart. So here comes Niles North on offense. The freshman, Olaf, nearly slipped there, and he's going to pass it to Bull, who passes it. Just amazing ball movement here. Can't even keep up. And here comes Maine South. Hauk with a three. No good. Rebound, Maine South. Great positioning there, and they fouled him on that one. John Gardiner is the one who's fouled there. Forward, 6'6", listed at 6'6", and he is a senior, one of the leaders for this Maine South team.
It's great of the cheerleaders to be here tonight, and a shout out to my sister Abigail in the pep band, making
nice.
the crowd entertained during the pauses.
That's sweet. Like, we have such a great, tight-knit community here at Niles North, and we're all contributing. Elliot in the booth and his sister Abigail down at the pep band. So things working out well for Maine South on that one, as they score a bucket to make it 17 of 15. 2:35 left in the first half. Momentum seeming to shift Maine South's way with another positive play after that bucket. They get possession of the ball to perhaps tie the game or even take the lead with a three.
Philip Bielatovic, the senior, has had 2 scores so far.
And for those of you at home, that is number 14 on Maine South. And how many points does he have?
He has currently 4.
4 points. So trying to get a little warmed up here. One of Maine South's stars to look out for. And a lot of these seniors on the varsity team, they're really contributing to this Maine South team, scoring the majority of their points so far tonight. And a miss there on the free throw. And see what all the commotion's about.
Maine South tends to be a dominant team. They have not had a losing season since 2007.
So you could chalk that up to the coach, Tony Lavorado, who has led his team to a 22-8 record overall, and also he's 6-4 in conference play. So he has good numbers, and he's looking to lead this Maine South team past the daunting task of beating Aquan Smart, Jalen Butler, and the Niles North Vikings. Saw the commotion earlier resulted in a few technical free throws for Maine South. And guess what? That tied the game for Maine South, and they're getting possession of the ball too. All right, here's Tyler Hauk. He's guarded by the Pesty, Aquan Smart. Another defensive stalwart, Jalen Butler, number 21, on the defense there against John Gardiner earlier. Coach Olson looking to invigorate his team. Oh, and a missed opportunity there for Niles North as a foul is called on the floor. Pryor nearly got to that one.
I guess you could say Tony Lavarado for Maine South is the Bill Belichick of high school basketball.
The success.
He's been there 14 years, or maybe longer. That's farther back than our record books even go at Viking Media.
Like, you could compare him to Bill Belichick. I don't know the comparison between the longevity of Bill Belichick or Tony Lavarado. I don't know how long Bill Belichick has been with the Patriots, but they definitely have an outstanding winning formula. And it shows this season. They're 22-8. They won 22 out of their 30 games of the season. So that's a pretty impressive feat for Tony Lavarado. And would you look on the court, Elliot? Don't you notice that the contrast in these two coaches, Coach Olson, is a lot more intense, while Tony Lavarado is doesn't he look calm and collected? I mean, just look. He's just strolling up and back and forth the court.
Olson's been here like 9 years. He has 192 wins in his career. And
not to mention, he's the winningest coach of all time on this Niles North program in terms of basketball. So we have a Niles North legend in the making here in terms of our coach, Coach Glenn Olson.
A minute 30 to go. We're tied at 17.
Great defense from Niles North, but a foul on Maine South's part will prevent the easy fast break opportunity for Niles North. And so, Niles North will begin their next possession with the ball. 17-17 still. It's still knotted up with the 1:20 left in the first half.
Don't forget to join us on the 19th of February for the postseason Niles North basketball. They'll play Glenbrook North in prime time at 7 o'clock.
Ooh, a three-pointer by Pryor. That's a huge one. Makes it 20-17. And so that game against Glenbrook North, will that be the girls playing on Viking Media?
I thought it was the boys.
Okay, so if they win, on this one, pretty substantial win. They're going to need it, as they'll take on Glenbrook North.
Speaking of the girls, they beat Glenbrook South on Tuesday, 60-34.
Yeah, in fact, I was broadcasting that game too, so that was a pretty nice game for Niles North, and a pretty good experience. Niles North girls getting it done. All right, so there is 43 ticks left on the clock. 20-17. Here is Niles North running up the court, or excuse me, Maine South with the ball, their possession of it. Oh, a nice cut there by Bulatovic. And a nice bucket there for Maine South. Niles North now has the ball. They're going to hold it for the last possession. Smart move here. Who do you think they're going to go to here, Elliot?
Well, I don't know. It looks like they're double teaming Butler. Smart looks pretty open.
But Bull takes it, and he misses. And that's going to end the first half. So the score is 20-19. The Vikings lead it against the Maine South Hawks. And so we welcome you guys back to the booth. I'm Josh Devera.
I'm Elliot Parrish.
And we thank you guys for joining our broadcast. It's still halftime, so we have another half to go. And we'll get back to you after halftime. And we thank you guys so much for tuning in. We'll see you in a bit.
I'm Nathan Lesbrance. I work in the lighting aspect of the theater here at North, and we are responsible for getting the lights ready for shows, having them in the correct spots on the stage, and controlling them during theater shows and auroras. There is no specific program you need to learn. If you ever do a show, there are positions you can do. One of them is lighting board op, which for that you will need to learn how to operate the lighting console to control the lights. I mean, you can go complicated, but for the actual show you don't need to know a whole lot. It's mostly just the complicated stuff is in the programming of the lights. Having Mr. Rourke as a professional lighting designer that comes in and helps us is great. He knows a lot about lights. He's taught me everything I know, starting from how to hold a wrench. And it's great having him here. He's very great person to work under. For a show, we usually start our design meetings for it a month ahead of time normally, and then we start actually bringing the lights in and putting those up in the right spots about 2 to 3 weeks before the show. Then it's tech. That's when we kind of do the whole show, and it's our time to make it perfect, so we'll go over the show again and again, and we'll just make sure all the lights are in the right spots, nothing's going crazy on us. So it's not too difficult. It does take a little bit of manual labor, mostly just climbing up steps into the catwalks and the grid. Lighting is very important in theater. You need to make sure, for one, you can actually see the actors. You need to make sure that they are properly lit, that you can see their face, or if you need them to be in the shadows, you can light behind them to get the silhouette. Being a video tech leader has helped teach me all the aspects of video, audio, and even lighting and scenery are very important, as well as the actors being able to do their job.
I'm Ellie Henderson, and this is a recap on the Focus of Your Future pilot program from District 219, where businesses, organizations, and educational institutions came to Niles North to inform students and parents about career options. And now let's hear from the person that helped put this event together, Ms. Allegra Giletti-Schmidt, the College and Career Counselor.
The event held on Monday, the 14th of January, was called Focus on Your Future. And the purpose of the event was to give specific focus to areas of post-secondary education outside of four-year colleges. So it would be two-year schools, certificate programs, apprenticeships, and other job training opportunities. For a first-time event, we were thrilled that about 500 people, 500 students and parents from our community and the surrounding communities came out, not only for the open house, but also for the fair. It was really well attended, and we saw families taking full advantage of discussions with all the representatives that attended. Gave special attention and focus to job training opportunities, apprenticeships, two-year degrees, certificates, and the like, really allowing students and families to see that some of the classes and courses and opportunities that we offer here within District 219 can directly link to careers out in the workforce. Students and parents were able to connect with representatives from various organizations, businesses, and institutions to learn more about the varying levels of degrees and certificates and training programs. So for instance, some students could do things concurrently while still in high school, like a 15 credit hour EMT program at Oakton while still in high school. Lots of these opportunities are not often talked about in our community, and so we wanted to give special attention and focus to them, hence the program title, Focus on Your Future.
I'm Ellie Henderson, and that was your Focus on Your Future pilot program recap. For more information, you can go to Ms. Edelson's website, down below.
So every year we do a chili cook-off because the chili cook-off is kind of reminiscent of fall, and there's a history behind chili cook-offs, and it's kind of a popular thing. So we decided to take that into the classroom and do a chili cook-off, and the kids have a lot of fun with it. It started because we like to be competitive in the class, and in my commercial foods class, we like to have little fun competitions where we all make the same dish, but we try to make, each group tries to make it better than the other. So it's a fun way to kind of gauge our skill and have people from outside the classroom come in and kind of vote on what their favorite is and have a fun little competition out of it.
My name is Tuba Lodi.
My name is Ira Zedi.
My name is Hector Moreno.
And we won the chili cook-off.
Our dish had like a lot of spice to it, so it was cayenne pepper and chili powder, which made it stand out even without the garnishes. So I think teachers really liked that, and they got to choose their own garnishes. So.
Yeah, I think we had a lot of variety of garnishes. I think that was one of the reasons that they preferred ours.
I think it was the cayenne pepper, so it had a bit of a natural kick to it other than the garnishes, and some of the teachers really enjoyed that because the spiciness was really balanced out.
The students it's really student owned. The kids come up with their own recipe, they practice it, they prepare it, they make changes, they taste it and adjust it accordingly. And I think it really makes it a lot of fun because it's a competitive event where they can take a lot of pride and they could really show some people outside the classroom what we do in our classroom and also kind of some of the fun activities that take place. And I think that one of the things that we try to do in our class is really master everything that we prepare in the classroom, and I think the chili cook-off is one of those things that we really kind of dive deep into, we practice, and the students really enjoy it. And that everyone seems to like chili in the fall because it kind of warms you up, so we have a lot of fun with it.
It is a very close game so far. The Niles North Vikings and the Hawks of Maine South, 20-19, with the Vikings on top.
Yeah, guys, and first of all, thanks so much for joining us on our broadcast. Please subscribe to Niles North Viking Media. It'll help us a lot. Just search up NN Viking Media, and it'll pop up. Just subscribe, and we'll appreciate it. Thank you guys so much. Also, Miss Ellie Henderson will be joining us in the fourth quarter, as right now she's doing some photography work. So she's kind of multitasking, which is pretty cool. And you guys will get to hear her in the fourth quarter. But for the third quarter, it's me and Elliot. So we're gonna get set and prepped up and ready to go for the second half. 30 more seconds left. So the wait is almost over for some more Vikings basketball. And we'll get some action for you guys soon.
This is the last game of the regular season for Niles North. But the Hawks still have 2 more to play after this. The next one is on the 16th against Homeward Flossmoor. And then in Vernon Hills, they play Vernon Hills on the 19th.
I know most people have really never heard of Homeward Flossmoor before, or maybe even Vernon Hills, but they're very competitive teams, 2 very competitive teams, so it'll be a nice, challenging stretch for Niles North. And it's always nice to have a challenge, because if you get those cupcake teams near the end, you probably will fall asleep by the time the playoffs are all around. So it's pretty nice that Niles North will have these 2 challenging teams to face off to end the regular season. But this is almost like a playoff type matchup scenario, don't you think?
Oh yeah, it's just a perfect matchup. Both with 19 wins, both with 7 home game wins. Very nice.
Yeah, and this game will be very crucial in determining the CSL South race. All right, Niles North with the ball. Smart. Bounce pass to Bull, who fakes. Some nice defense there from Maine South. Smart waiting patiently picks his hole, and a foul is called as Smart accelerated to the open lane.
Watch carefully the zone defense of the Hawks, keeping the Vikings outside of the arc.
Yes.
Once Smart got in, it was like a wall. They stripped the ball away from him before he could get the layup.
Yeah, and the key to Niles North beating that 2-3, they're going to have to look to their wings. Because in a 2-3, the defense is mostly concentrated towards the inside, close range shots. That's why they're putting 3 underneath and 2 up top. So the Vikings are going to have to create some separation in the wings, possibly, or get it to Polycap, who's a lights-out shooter, and shoot the 3. Anyways, Maine South was some nice effort on that one. That was their 3rd rebound in that, or 2nd rebound in that possession.
And John Gardner's 3rd score of the game.
Yeah, so he's been pretty productive for this Maine South offense, considering that they have scored 23 points. Gardner accounting for 6 of those. Anyway, Smart. Oh, he was grabbed on that one. Not quite sure why the refs didn't call a foul, but Butler airballs that one. Rebound Smart. And that one is off of Maine South, off of Gardner, and it will be Niles North ball. All right, here's Smart. Gives it to Bull, to Polycap. Good find by Polycap. Kicks it out to Smart, and that was no good. Butler trying hard for the rebound, but it's corralled by Maine South. There's Dan Crane on the rebound. Number 23 on the floor for the Maine South Hawks.
Vikings down by only 1 point. It has not been a bigger gap than 4 all game long.
So, do you know how many lead changes there were?
Oh, I wasn't counting.
That's a pretty complicated stat, anyways. But really, the largest lead was 4.
Yeah, it's so close.
That just shows you how competitive these 2 teams are, and it's not any coincidence. It's not an upset, and both of these teams really have the ability to compete with each other. It shows in their almost identical records, almost identical conference records, and almost identical score, 22-23. It's only a 1 point gap here. And so, Smart is to inbound, and here's Bull. Smart to Bull, to Butler, to Smart. Vikings coming up with various motions to try and catch this Maine South defense off guard. And Smart with the layup, and it's good.
His 5th score of the day.
Yeah, a very productive player, Aquan Smart is every game, whether it's on the home or on the road, whether it's a tough opponent or not. Smart has always been very productive, and just like right now, he's been very productive against Maine South tonight.
And he's a junior, so they will get one more year out of him at Niles North. That'll be very enjoyable when he has 3 years of varsity experience.
Oh, and Polycap caps it in. Caps it a 3, and a timeout is called by Maine South.
15 feet of positively perfect pinpoint accuracy.
Nice alliteration there, man.
I should say pinpoint precision.
I would have been like pinpoint. That was awesome. Beautiful. All right, so we're back into the booth. I'm Josh Rivera.
I'm Elliot Parrish.
And we thank you guys for joining so far tonight. It's been an amazing battle, amazing game between these two teams. The scoreboard says 27-23, so that just shows you how competitive it is out on the court. And it's been a fairly energetic atmosphere, don't you think?
Absolutely.
Yeah, and the crowd is showing up here.
Omar Polycap's 2 3-pointers have gotten everybody on their feet.
Yeah, and as we've said throughout this entire season, Omar Polycap has been a very, very sharp 3-point shooter. And we'd also like you guys to subscribe to NN Viking Media on YouTube. The platform we are streaming live on. So go ahead, hit that subscribe button, and we thank you guys in advance for subscribing to our YouTube channel. And we're also very fortunate to have YouTube as our live streaming platform so that we can deliver efficient and free Niles North Vikings basketball and other sports to you guys at home. So back to the action. Aquan Smart with a free throw. He will be shooting 2, plus Niles North possession of the ball. Some technical free throws here. He knocks in a second. And so by default, Niles North will get the ball. Hey Elliot, how big would a score be in this situation?
Well, we've seen some high scoring, a lot of high scoring so far. But Smart's denied.
Oh man, yeah. Denied by none other than the rim. Out of all the players that could possibly deny him, it was a non-player that denied him, the ring. So,
my goodness.
Yeah, that would have made it 21-23. And like you said, the largest lead prior to the Niles North 6-point lead that they have right now, 29-23. The biggest lead they had prior to that lead was a 4-point lead. Niles North, if Smart had gotten that dunk, that would have been very crucial and could possibly turn the tables on Maine South. And the score is 29-23 in the third quarter with 4:42 remaining. It's been a great contest so far tonight as John Gardiner misses the 3.
Battle of 2 very well-liked coaches. Tony Laverado's been here at his team 5 years longer than Coach Olson.
Yes.
Laverado's had 14 years of experience.
Yeah, so he's definitely had some ups and downs in his career, mostly ups. But these two coaches, in fact, very experienced, but very contrasting in nature. As Smart with a nice layup.
Number 8 for his scores tonight.
All right, so Hauk with the ball, putting the pedal to the metal before he calms down and resets this Maine South offense. Niles North playing some stellar defense. And a nice drive there by Dan Crane, number 23 for Maine South. He gets a nice bucket to go. And here's Niles North looking to add on to their lead. But something happened on the court. What is it? It's a personal foul on Niles North. So Maine South will now have possession of the ball.
The freshman Josef Olif checking in for the Vikings.
Yeah, he's been a great spotlight player. And it's so funny because he's a freshman on a varsity team. Normally that would create some chemistry issues for teams, but his Niles North teammates have done just the opposite. They've rallied behind him as Maine South hits that three. They've rallied behind him, and Olaf's been a pretty big bright spot on this Niles North team.
(31-29) Vikings.
Oh, and a nice find to Butler. Man, I thought he was going to dunk that, but 2 points either way. So 33-29 your score. It's another 4-point lead for the Niles North Vikings. But can they sustain it? We'll see if they can fend off this Maine South Hawk attack. Stops, pops, and banks it in. It's a nice bucket there for Maine South. That is Sean Gallery, the sophomore on this varsity team.
Maine South has let up an average of about 46 points per game this year.
46 points. Can you say that again?
Yeah.
Oh, well, something big happened on the court. I wasn't there to see it, but
doesn't it always?
Oh, okay. Here's another big play. And it is Niles North ball, it appears. No, a timeout will be called on Niles North.
And Olsen is not very happy with ball right now, we're seeing on the sideline.
Yeah. Olsen really preaches he really preaches discipline, so he's going to get on his guys in order to, you know, kind of calm them down a bit. Very, very responsible coach, and a very good one, as he has had winning seasons throughout his entire career, throughout his 9 years here. The winningest coach in Niles North history. All right, guys, so it's Friday. We hope you guys are chilling in your house, and the score, as we have just displayed, is 35-31 with 2:11 to go in the third quarter. So we hope you guys are having a nice Friday. Elliot, what are you gonna do for the weekend?
This weekend I'll mostly do homework. I'll eat out. I'll watch this basketball game again after it's done.
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah, truly a classic right now. It's very closely contested. What else?
This weekend, I guess I'll go out to eat dumplings in Chicago.
In Chinatown, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Very festive part of the town, Chinatown.
As Tyler Huck scores a 2.
Yep.
The junior.
Yeah, he's been pretty productive, ball handling wise and scoring wise here for Maine South. Most recently, and Olaf with a 3 that won't go. Ooh, that was a great play by Sean Gallery. And a huge slam there.
John Gardner's 4th score of the game.
Man, that was a great catch. That reminded me of Julian Edelman's catch back in Super Bowl 51 against the Falcons when he made that amazing catch. It was reminiscent of that.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, great job, Sean Gallery, on that last possession. Anyways, Maine South on the attack once again. Oh. 2 Viking defenders were in hot pursuit. And Maine South is now leading by 2. And so we're back in the booth. I'm Josh DeVera.
I'm Elliot Parrish.
And it's been such a competitive game so far tonight. Niles North had the better of Maine South so far tonight, but most recently, Maine South has come and struck like lightning, scoring 4 points in the last minute and compared to Niles North's 0 points in the last minute. And how do you think Niles North should bounce back from this, Elliot?
Well, I think they should focus on the attack. Olaf was doing a bunch of three-pointers that weren't very precise. They should try to get inside the arc more to go for more conservative gridiron offense.
Yeah, and hopefully Niles North could somehow crack the code on that 2-3 defense that Maine South has trotted out onto the court for the majority of this game. Now they're switching to man-to-man, which will lead to a bull 3. Kind of predicted that.
Yeah, like you knew it would go in before it even went swish.
Yeah, I was ready to take back my statement. I was like, and that will lead to a bull, and then he hit the 3. So nice job there by Bull. Anyways, Maine South with the ball. Pass to Gardiner, who's been great for Maine South, including that emphatic fast break slam a few moments ago. Dan Crane, some nice ball handling skills. They hand it off to Hauk, who's fouled by, it looks like Pryor, either Pryor or Smart.
Last year, the Vikings had a 15-game winning streak, but this year, it's only gotten as long as 5. They just lost before this game in a high-scoring one where the scoreboard hit 82 and 70 points.
82. That is a lot of points. I mean, a lot.
But imagine the Vikings scoring 70 points and losing.
And that a half-court attempt will not go in. And that will conclude the third quarter. We hope you guys are having fun here in the booth, as we're definitely glad that you guys are joining us tonight. And the score is 38-37 at the end of the third quarter. And we will begin the fourth quarter in just a bit. And how much fun are you having tonight, Elliot?
I'm having a lot of fun. This is such
a lot of fun
exciting matchup with with either side you're on. It's just
like
so close.
Back and forth, you know? And it has been just a competitive game. As you can see on the scoreboard, 38-37 that we just showed you guys earlier. And we're going to head back into Niles North basketball action in just a bit. Coach Olson huddling with his team, getting his team prepped up and ready to go for the fourth quarter in a crucial game, playoff-like scenario here against Maine South. Not to mention they have identical records as you, Elliot, have mentioned earlier. And how do you think this win will affect both teams? Should Niles North win or should Maine South win?
It'll give them momentum, because when you have an opponent that is so similar to you, it will find your weaknesses and it'll help you know which strengths to work on.
Yeah, and it has been just an amazing game for both squads, both Niles North and Maine South getting in on the action, both with highlight reel caliber plays. And we'll see if we'll have more in stock for tonight. Polycap with a 3. He caps it in. Man, I love saying that. Caps it in. And the thing is, I get to say it so often because Polycap is just knocking down these 3-pointers. Anyways, it's 41-37. 7:20 left in the fourth.
3 scores and 9 points for him today in this game.
And he floats it up and it's denied, but they couldn't recover. And it is still going to be Maine South ball.
On average, Niles North has scored 9 more points per game this season than the Hawks, but right now, the deficit's only 4 points.
Oh, Smart with a steal. Oh, he's usually so adept at finishing, but I think he laid it up with his offhand, his non-dominant hand. And just a bit off there as it just rolled out. And Maine South takes advantage with 2 points of their own to narrow this lead to 2. Bull passes to Polycap. They need to score here. It's a necessity, although it won't necessarily give the game away. Vikings really need to score here to increase their lead. Here's Davis passing it to Smart, who fakes a 3. Spin, half spin,
They haven't
then passes it out.
trying to get inside the arc very much. It seems like they want to go for a 3 here.
And the 3 by Bull. Oh, and it's off the mark. Rebound, Houck. And it's a smart play by Houck. He was trapped. Bounces it off of Miles Davis's knee. And it goes back to Maine South so they can recoup and recover. Yeah, and the main reason, as you pointed out, that Niles North really couldn't attack inside the arc is because, again, that Maine South stingy defense. They got the 2-3 going. They got 3 men underneath. So it's going to be very difficult for Niles North to attack from inside the arc. And an air ball, and it's Niles North ball. Man, we used to say that in the playground a lot.
Yeah.
Air ball. So here comes Niles North. Smart. Yeah, as I was saying earlier, Maine South was previously in their 2-3, so Niles North's only chance to beat that is to spread the outside and get an open shot from the wing.
Smart is better at attempting 3s than he is 2s. We've seen him miss 2 layups today, but he can sink 3s, and he's very, very good outside the arc and with free throws as well.
Yeah, also, if I'm Maine South right now, although Smart is the clear guy, clear candidate to watch out for, I would be very scared about Omar Polycap. He's just a lights-out three-point shooter, and if you give him some open space, he can make you pay. He has such a quick release on that catch and shoot. And so we'd like to thank our sponsors, Athletico, for sponsoring us year-round.
Some of the greatest comeback stories never show up in the sports section. At Athletico, our physical therapists help people overcome pain and discomfort and get back to doing the things they love to do. Start your comeback. Schedule your free injury screening today at athletico.com. Athletico Physical Therapy, better
So we
for
welcome
every
you guys back
body.
to the booth. I'm Josh Severe.
I'm Elliot Parrish.
And we welcome you guys back to a very hot matchup between Niles North and Maine South. It's 41-39 as we keep you posted with 4:51 left in the fourth quarter.
Be
Play
back
will resume
on this YouTube channel tomorrow at 9 a.m. and 1 p.m. in the afternoon, both Central Standard Time, to see swimming and diving doubleheader at Niles North.
Although most of you guys may not be into swimming and diving, double headers are always pretty nice. And so we hope you guys could at least tune in, even just for a while, for those sectionals for diving and swimming. That is tomorrow, starting at 9 a.m. All right, 4:11 to go. Pryor. Back to Bull. Ooh, nice feed to Buller. Oh, that is a charging foul.
A relatively low fouling game with so far for 5, 6, 7 in this half.
Yeah, and Niles North earlier in the season, I can remember we had some foul trouble against especially New Trier. We had like 10 fouls in the game. And of course, New Trier is a very good team. But Niles North couldn't get it done. But now they're getting it done. Although it's narrow, it looks like the momentum's headed their way. 4 fouls of Niles North compared to Maine South's 3. So, oh, God. An and one for Maine South. And Davis tried to take the charging foul, but it turns out to be a blocking foul that is against Niles North. Whereas a charging foul would give Niles North the ball. And these free throws, or this free throw, wouldn't have happened. And that basket also wouldn't have counted.
Filip Buladovic is at the line.
It's a pretty hard name to say, don't you think? Buladovic. But credit to him. He has been great for this Maine South team. Very serviceable player.
These two teams have had an opponent in common. Between them, they have beat Niles West 3 times this year.
3 times. Combined?
Yeah, Niles North played them twice, and the Hawks played them once.
Yeah, and if you guys couldn't recall, our Niles North, Niles West game that was broadcasted fully by Mr. Elliot Parrish and Miss Ellie Henderson. Both are wonderful broadcasters, commentators.
You too.
Yeah, no problem. It's well-deserved. So that was the game that kicked off our Viking Media basketball season. And it was a pretty nice game, packed house. And Niles North ended up winning that game by actually a big margin too. So pretty decisive in that matchup. Anyway, Smart will kick it out to Butler, to Bowl, to Smart. And as I said, with a 2-3 defense, now Maine South's gonna keep on swarming you if you go inside the rim. It's a restricted area for Niles North, so they're gonna have to beat Maine South using a 3-pointer. And if I'm Coach Olson, I would get out my 3-point shooters out there, especially Polycap, who is now sitting out. But I would have kept Polycap in there. He's a lights-out 3-point shooter.
Buladovic and Gardner for the Hawks, and Smart and Polycap for the Vikings. There are only 7 state slots between these two teams, and they both have very similar prolific 3-pointer ability.
Yeah, I would especially keep Smart on the floor. But who am I to judge? Coach Olson, our team is in your hands. We're nothing but commentators, okay? Well, let's just trust in Coach Olson here. So, he knows what he's doing. So, we welcome you guys back into the booth. And it's been a very competitive game. 41-42, the guest is leading Maine South by a score of 42-41. It's a big game.
Coach Olson is looking to record his 193rd win listed for his career.
193, that is a big number. And the score right now, 41-42, like I said earlier, 2:59 left, and we're in the 4th quarter. Niles North with 6 fouls. Again, we talked about the foul trouble earlier in this matchup. Now it's adding up. And Maine South, compared to Maine South, only 3 fouls for them. And so, like Elliot said, Coach Olson is gunning for his 193rd win. I can't even count that high.
Yeah,
Just
and get
kidding.
the other coach, Tony Lavorado, has 290 wins in our record book.
That's even harder. If you were to count by ones, I would have fallen asleep by then.
It would take forever.
Yeah. So very, very successful coaches on both sides of the court. Now it's North and Maine South. I'd also like to make a shout out to the DeVera family. They're watching it, this broadcast from my household, and thank you guys for tuning in. And thank you for tuning in, as well as the other Niles North Viking fans in the community. And so, we got subs coming in for Niles North.
The Vikings offense hasn't been able to pile it on as much as they have in some games past. This year they've had 3 games where they scored 70 or more, including against Chicago Marshall by 77 points this year.
77.
There was a lot.
Yeah, that's a lot of points scored. Consider, if you take into account that this score is 41 to 42, they scored 77 points in that game. So it's pretty much a deadlock here, mostly a defensive deadlock. We're not really seeing that much scoring from both teams, as it's 41 to 42 with about 2 minutes left in the 4th. And a nice pass there for Maine South. Great feed to Bulatovic, and that's gonna lead to a timeout for Niles North.
So far, Maine South has been over 25% more likely to lose this season when they're in an away environment, and especially a loud one like this with the band playing and the fans.
Yeah. You know, I always love the pep band, and they always bring such great atmosphere to the game right now. This wonderful music being provided to you by the Niles North Pep Band, the band that your sister is part of. So it's always nice to hear this wonderful music being played on the court to support your Niles North Vikings. And so far, it's been a very, very impressive game. This game did not disappoint. This game did, in fact, live up to the hype. As Niles North is getting ready to head onto the court right now, as we will get set to resume play as the buzzer sounds. Like we said in our last broadcast, with the girls Niles North basketball team playing in our last broadcast, we said, guys, tune in Friday night. And for those who are tuning in right now, it did not disappoint. Hope not, because it is a very competitive matchup. And Niles North is in a must-score situation here.
Looking for the team's 17th of the game.
And here's Olaf. Out go guns ablazing here. Shoot the 3. Cross-court pass to Butler.
The starting lineup, you see number 10, Bull, who's a sophomore, and 12 there, who's a freshman. But other than that, it's older juniors and seniors.
That one's short. Smart. Man, that looked like a foul. Honestly, they were tangled up in midair, but Quan Smart did not get the favorable call.
Maine South has played 28 games so far. They were 2 games farther.
Coach Olson is really angry right now.
Whoa.
Technical foul. The assistant coach was trying to pull him back. And that would be 2. I mean, that was a foul. I mean, Smart was struggling to even get his hands up. And now this commotion has led to Glenn Olson's anger. Like we said earlier, we were talking about how contrasting these 2 coaches are.
He's
the Maine
still
South
yelling
coach,
at the ref.
Tony Laverato, who's calm and collected, and Coach Olson, who's very, very intense.
I think he's sitting down so, like, he doesn't get up and get even madder and, like, draw another foul from yelling.
Yeah. And good decision for him. But intensity can bring good things and bad things. Bad things meaning that technical foul over there that Niles North didn't really need. But his intensity has really brought this Niles North Vikings team from the ashes. Jesus. No, I'm not mad at Coach Olsen. I'm mad at the refs.
Well,
Man.
I think that's how Smart feels right now. Seven points with a quarter and a minute to go. Every possession counts. And now number 42 for Maine South is at the line, and he's not listed on our roster.
A feeling of disbelief on both up here in the stands and the Niles North bench, and especially the players on the court. Man, you have a choice right now to feel good, to feel sad for the refs, or to feel pity for the refs. You be the judge.
So you don't agree with their choice either?
The thing is, it happens all so fast, so you can't really blame the refs here. But that, I remember, I could see it. That foul was clear as day. As Niles North finally gets a call their way. But now, that foul, that should have been a foul. The one where the Maine South defender tangled Aquan Smart up. Right.
There's Bull for two, his second score of the game, the sophomore. (43-50) with the Vikings down. There was about a minute and a quarter left in the game.
And welcome back, guys. It's 43-50, and I just feel pissed. I just feel pissed at the refs on the court.
Okay.
I mean, you can't really blame them because it all happened so fast. But the foul on Aquan Smart was a foul. I mean, he grabbed him.
Well, Josh,
real hard.
Remember, this isn't the NFL. There's no instant replay for them to look at. There's no review or coach challenge flag or any of that.
Yeah, but I mean, it was, even for a ref, I feel like it was clear as day from up here that Aquan Smart, on that one possession, got tangled up. He couldn't even lift his arms up when he was trying to do that. You can see it on his facial expression. You can even see it on his body language. He was trying to lift that ball up, but that Maine South defender just tangled his arms, and the refs didn't see that. It's just those things that you can't really change. There's no coach's challenge in basketball, so we'll resume play here. Niles North will have to move on.
And the double teaming with Monroe and Smart on Tyler Hawk gets that ball out of bounds.
Yeah, but Maine South will continue to maintain possession of the ball. And it goes kind of ticky-tack.
Gardner for his fifth of the game.
Okay, in that one I could forgive the refs. Ooh, and one would have been nice there.
You were talking about Coach Olsen's intensity. If you ever watch one of the Vikings practices, it does go both ways. Like, he gets very angry if something goes wrong, but he also gets really happy when it goes right. I've heard him shouting "yay" whenever his team does something good.
Like, I've actually been to one of his practices while we were setting up for Viking Media, and actually, whenever his team would make a mistake, whenever his players would make a mistake, he would tell you he's mad at you. But in reality, I know it, and the players know it. that's just, you know, it's just
his formula for success.
Yeah, he wants you to get angry, not in an out of control way, but in a way that'll make the players play better and improve their game. And Coach Olsen has done a tremendous job. I applaud him for that. I also support his actions on the court. I mean, those things happen. Coaches will get pissed, and it's all right for them to be pissed, although they will be thrown out of the game. But it's always good to, you know, express your opinion. Maybe that would have gotten Niles North's energy back up, you know, their intensity back up. This is what an intense coach brings. But unfortunately, Niles North couldn't rally. Polycap with the three, no good. And that will just about end it. There's 15 seconds left on the clock, and that will just about do it. Man.
The last time this game was played, Niles North won by 16 points. And this time, it was by 10.
Yeah, and welcome back, guys, to the booth. I'm Josh DeVera.
I'm Elliot Parrish.
And it was pretty intense tonight. It looked like Niles North had the momentum. It looked like they were going to have the lead. It looked like they were going to take over this game. But the tide turned, and it was just unfortunate for Niles North.
Instead, Tony Lavorado has his 291st win of his career.
Yeah, and on the other hand, Coach Olsen will still be gunning for that 193rd win of his career. Both very great coaches, both very great teams, both with very great records. Both put out a very good show tonight. And we thank you guys, Vikings. We didn't get to send you guys home happy, but it was a nice game, and we should appreciate that. And we thank you guys for watching. We hope you guys had fun on our broadcast, and we'll see you on our next Viking Media broadcast.